Hey guys, welcome back for another video. So we've got the weather's improving, it's getting warmer every day, the sun is out, and here in central Iowa that means the dandelions are coming out. So not just dandelions, but you know, all your typical broadleaf weeds. So I decided it was time to get out the sprayer, and I thought I'd shoot a video just to kind of demonstrate what I'm using as a 3-point sprayer on my my tractor. It's working out really well. So what I've got is this is the FIMCO 40-gallon 3-point tank sprayer. And before I start, I'll just mention, so I've had this thing for a couple of years now, and I've got to kind of, I don't know, give props to FIMCO. So the first year that I had this, I didn't have it very long, probably about 6 months, and I noticed that my tank was starting to leak. And it's just a, you know, just a manufacturing flaw, I think, and I'm sure FIMCO doesn't make these tanks. I'm sure they buy them from somewhere. So I called up the 800 number, basically explained what happened. Customer service person on the other end said, you know, when did you buy it? I told her. She said, I've got another one on the way. So no questions asked. They sent me a new one, and they really stood behind that. So, and I'm not concerned about this new tank. Like I said, I think that was just probably a bad batch that they got from their supplier. But anyway, that aside, so this is a 40-gallon tank. It's a boom style, and I think that's 6 feet. I got a tape here. Let me measure, confirm for sure. So, oh no, I was wrong. Actually, that's almost an 8-foot sprayer. So the boom itself is 8 feet plus, you know, when your spray pattern comes out a little bit wider. So I'd say it's probably a 9-foot spray pattern actually on this thing, which works well. It comes with a hand nozzle here, hand sprayer, with a nice long hose. Actually, it's probably like a 20-foot hose on it. So you know, you could easily have somebody driving the tractor and somebody walking beside it, spraying fence lines or whatever you need to with that. Me personally, I just when I do use the hand sprayer, I just do it off the tractor, basically go you know, spray as I go. So, you know, a few things. Obviously, it folds up, gets pretty narrow. It's probably like, I don't know, probably not even 4 foot wide, I suppose, when it's folded up. Hand sprayer wraps up nicely on there. It's got a pretty basic valve system here. So, you know, valve open back here, goes back to the boom, which is what I typically use. It's got a bypass too. So, like a, you know, if you want to circulate, you know, the fluid in the tank, I suppose you could do that. But I just, you know, you drive around for a minute and everything gets pretty well mixed. It just sloshes around. It's got a, get to this side. It's got a basic siphon tube that goes down in there with a screen on it to keep, you know, junk out. And it's got a pressure gauge on it too, so you can watch. I don't even know how many PSI that runs, I can't remember. And you know, you mount it on your 3-point and you're off to the races. I run this thing, I think I'm probably about 7 or 8 inches off the ground, the base of the sprayer here. And when I do that, let's see what my nozzles are. So that gets my nozzles. I'm just a little under 18 inches off the ground, which works pretty well. I basically just kind of played with it when I set it up. You just want to make sure that when you look at your sprayers that you've got good, you know, that you don't have any mist areas in between your spray patterns. And I'll show you that here in a second. When you get it, it comes with, so the cable, the power, comes with a set of alligator clamps like this. You know, just basic alligator clamps that you would put on your battery, but I didn't want to mess with that. So what I did is I just went on Amazon and I got a basic, you know, cigarette lighter, power port basically adapter, and splice that on there, and then I just plug it in right here, which works perfectly, so I don't have to mess around with going to the battery. That's plugged in. It's got an on-off switch right here. Turn that on and off. So as you're going around the yard, it's really easy when you're turning, or, you know, if you need to go to a different area or whatever. I got that switch right there, and it's really convenient. It works great actually. So like I showed you when I opened the video, but incidentally, I use Trimec. You know, there's probably a million different weed killers out there. That seems to work good for me. So this thing is, I said it's 40 gallons. At Trimec, I run, it's like 32 gallons. Will get you about 32,000 square feet, which isn't quite enough to do my yard. But I usually just do a gallon. And then the way that I do this is I'll run 30 gallons in here, 32 gallons in here, and I'll spray the majority of my yard. And then what I'll do is I'll give it a week or two to let everything pretty well die. And then it's, especially with dandelions, it's pretty obvious if you've missed any areas. So then I'll go back and I'll put another, say 10 or 15 gallons in there. And then I'll just drive around with the hand sprayer and I'll hit any of those areas that I missed previously. And then also, I've got the backyard's all full of trees, so it's kind of hard to get really close to the trees when you're spraying with the boom. So I'll just go around and hit those areas real quick with the hand sprayer, and works really well for that. So that's the basic process that I use, and it works pretty well. Trying to think what else I should tell you. I also throw a little surfactant in there, which I don't know. That's supposedly that helps to have your herbicide stick to the leaves a little better. I think you can actually just use like dish soap. I think does kind of the same thing. So probably not necessary, but something I picked up, so I used it. But so I'll just kind of show you here. I'll give you an example of the way this thing works. So again, we got power plugged in there. Hit my switch, and I had it cleaned out, so it's got to get the lines filled per second. Hey, get back. So that kind of gives you an idea of the spray pattern. As you can see, obviously the slower you go, the more thicker coverage you're going to get, but it's evaporating faster because we got a lot of hot sun on the pavement today, but nice even spray pattern, works good. And then, again, if you switch you switch your boom off there. Now when you do that, it's going to put pressure to the handheld, and this has has an adjustable head on it, so you can have more of a fan pattern, or if you want to really reach out there, you can you can put kind of a stream on it as well. And I haven't used this, so it'll probably take a second to kind of fill up, but there you go. So there's pretty wide fan pattern. I don't really know how much of a stream this thing will do. Oh yeah, look at that. So if you need to get out there and reach out a ways, you can easily do that. It's not how I ever use it. I always have it more of a spray, but you see that blue coming out of there? That's actually a dye. I shouldn't do that on my driveway. That's actually a dye that I'll use sometimes when I'm spraying like a wider area of, let me turn this off. It's like down there where the driveway in front of my shop is kind of wide. I use that dye so you can see where you're spraying and you don't miss any areas. But so that's pretty much it, I think. Pretty basic, unit really. I don't know, longevity wise, like this pump, for example. I try to make sure I do a good job of cleaning it out. And basically what I do is I just run it. It does a pretty good job of getting down to the last probably inch or so of the tank before the siphon stops, grabbing your mixture. And of course that depends on, your angle, and my yard is not flat at all, so I tend to lose suction. So I just go back and I put, I probably put 5 gallons of water in there, a little more, and then I just go back and I just keep spraying some more, and that cleans most of the excess out. And then I'll go and I'll put another 10 gallons or so in, drive around, let it slosh, let the system run one more time to get the nozzles and everything pretty well cleaned out. And then I just go back in the woods and I just pull the cap and dump the rest of the water and call it clean. So, I think as long as you do a good job of keeping it cleaned out, these should last pretty while, quite a while. But everything is really easily serviceable. So, I'm guessing that if anything goes bad, it's going to be this pump, obviously stored inside, so it's not out in the weather. but these just pop loose. So these connectors come off really easy. So if you need to replace a pump or something, you could do that without too much trouble on this thing. So anyway, just thought I would kind of show you guys what I use. I hate dandelions, hate all weeds actually. I don't have a perfect lawn, but I hate dandelions. So so that gets the job done. So again, that's the FIMCO. I guess it's the LG 43.12 volt bolted is the actual model number on it. I'll try to find, I can't remember. I think I actually got this thing. I think I ordered it from Menards when I got it, but I'll see if I can find a link and I'll throw it down in the description if you want to check out and kind of see what pricing is. And I'll see if I can find that adapter too, that cigarette lighter adapter, throw it out there in case somebody wants to wire it up the same way. I don't know why you'd want to mess around with, putting it, actually hooking up to your battery. If you've got a cigarette lighter on your tractor, it's definitely the way to go. It works really well. And hey, I appreciate you guys watching. Make sure to like and subscribe if you haven't already, and we'll see you on the next video.